I knew my place in their house the moment I sat at that long dining table. Empty plate in front of me, every other plate piled high with food. And when my husband didn't even look up, something inside me shattered so quietly, no one noticed. Not yet. When I married Adam, I thought love was enough. We met at a coffee shop near my office. I was working double shifts as a nurse back then, and he liked to joke that I smelled like antiseptic and adrenaline. He came from an old money family, country club weddings, wine tastings, and vacations in Europe. I didn't care. He loved me for my simplicity, or so I thought. The first time I met his parents, I wore my best dress. Nothing flashy, just something that made me feel elegant. His mother's eyes scanned me like a price tag, starting from my shoes and stopping at the discount tag I'd forgotten to remove. She smiled politely, but her gaze told another story. "You're not one of us." I brushed it off. Adam never said much about it, and I didn't want to sound insecure. I told myself respect would come with time. I worked hard, sent money to help my parents, and still managed to keep our tiny apartment warm and happy. Meanwhile, Adam's job barely covered his hobbies, but I didn't complain. Love was partnership, right? Or maybe it was me being naive, thinking that quiet sacrifices build respect. I didn't realize then, I was just getting started with the lessons his family had for me. It started small. So small, I almost convinced myself it wasn't real. The first Christmas, his mother handed out expensive silk scarves to every woman at the table, except me. She said she didn't know my style yet. I laughed it off, though the silence after my laugh burned. Next came the dinner conversations. They spoke in circles about art galleries and charity events, glancing at me only when they needed someone to refill a glass or pass the salad. Once, his brother asked if I'd ever been to Paris. When I said no, his mother chuckled softly and said, "Oh, of course." I smiled, like it didn't cut deep. Every birthday, I saved for months to buy Adam something thoughtful. He brought me flowers once, on clearance. I didn't care. I told myself love isn't measured in money. But when I paid half the rent and covered groceries while he spent weekends golfing with his father, a tiny seed of resentment began to grow. The worst was Adam's silence. Whenever I mentioned how left out I felt, he'd say, "You're imagining things," and kiss my forehead like I was a child with bad dreams. His voice was calm, loving even. But those words rewrote my reality. Maybe I was imagining things. Maybe I was ungrateful. But then there were the whispers. Once I overheard his mother on the phone saying, "She married up. Poor thing must feel so out of place." Poor thing. Like I was some charity project. I wanted to scream, but instead I folded laundry and waited for the day their smiles would feel real. That day never came. Instead, something worse did. A family dinner I'll never forget. It was his father's birthday. The dining table looked like something out of a magazine. Steaks glistening under warm light, crystal glasses catching reflections, laughter filling the air. I sat quietly, waiting for my plate. His mother walked by, serving everyone generous portions, her perfume heavy and sweet. Then she reached me and placed nothing. Not a plate, not even a piece of bread. She smiled like it was an accident, but her eyes told the truth. This was deliberate. And Adam? He didn't say a word. Didn't even look at me. That silence, his silence, was louder than all their laughter. That was the moment I decided. Never again. I didn't cry. not in front of them. I just sat there, my hands folded on the empty plate like it belonged there. They kept eating, their laughter bouncing off the walls, ignoring the hollow space around me. When the waiter brought out dessert, a towering chocolate cake, I stood up quietly. All eyes turned. His mother gave me that rehearsed smile. "Oh, sweetheart, did you want something?" I looked straight at her and spoke calmly, so calmly it scared even me. "No. I just wanted to thank you all for reminding me where I stand. Here." Her smile faltered. Adam shifted uncomfortably, but still, no words. I continued, pulling my phone from my purse. "You know, I've been paying for Adam's half of the rent for the past 6 months, covering groceries, even helped him pay off his golf membership so he could bond with his father." A hush fell over the table. Adam's face drained of color. "And while I worked double shifts to keep us afloat, I looked at his mother, decided I wasn't worthy of a plate of food in a house I helped keep standing. Someone dropped a fork. I kept going. "I may not come from money, but I come from dignity. And tonight, you've shown me there's none of that. Here." Then I turned to Adam. "I hope that silence tasted as good as your steak, because that's the last meal you'll have with me by your side." I left my ring on the table, next to that empty plate, and walked out. Nobody followed me, not even him. It's been 8 months since that night. 8 months of unlearning. The silence I once thought was love. I moved into a small apartment, not fancy, but it smells like freedom. My nursing career took off after I accepted a leadership role I'd turned down for years because Adam didn't want me working nights. Now, I set my own schedule, pay my own bills, and sleep without feeling like an uninvited guest in my own life. His family? I heard whispers through mutual friends. The perfect golden boy had to move back home because, apparently, golf memberships don't pay rent. His mother still hosts dinners, still posts pictures of her perfect family. But I know the truth. Behind that glossy smile is the memory of me walking out without raising my voice, because power isn't loud. It's controlled. Adam called twice. The first time, he said he missed me. The second time, he asked if we could talk things through. Both times, I let the phone ring until it stopped. There's nothing left to explain. The day I left wasn't about revenge. It was about remembering myself. And now, every time I sit down to eat alone, with my own plate, in my own home, I feel whole again. Sometimes the loudest thing you can say is nothing at all. Walking away wasn't weakness. It was the moment I stopped starving for scraps of love and started serving myself the respect I always deserved.